Good day, everyone, and especially to you, Coach Jay. My name is Angelica S. Amador, and my role in this presentation is to share my thoughts about my childhood and adolescent development and my developmental experience. In every child who is born under no matter what circumstances and of no matter what parents, the potentiality of the human race is born again, according to James Agee, American writer, 20th century. Child development is about the rhythm and meaning of children's life, about turning mystery into understanding, and about weaving together a portrait of who each of us was, is, and will be. From birth through infancy and into adulthood, we constantly develop and learn from genetic and learned factors. As children grow into adolescents and then into adults, individual and innate characteristics, hereditary, and life experience environment play an increasing role as children adapt to internal and external conditions. During the first 5 to 10 years of a child's life, there is almost unimaginable physical, social, cognitive, and emotional and moral change and growth which takes place. Children develop to become toddlers, go to preschool, eventually become pre-adolescents, and their transitions from one developmental stage to the next involves major changes. With adolescents, the sudden growth spurt, they start to display adult-like characteristics across a wide range of emotional and behavioral reactions. And today, we are also going to present the backgrounds and principles and importance of the child and adolescent developmental stages. And we are also going to share the insights of our presentation at the end of this video. So keep on watching! Childhood is one of my best stages in life before going to adolescence because these stages realize how happy and carefree you are in everything, not until you became in adolescent stages. Adolescence is one of the hardest yet not so happy in life. This is because you are conscious of what other people might think of you since you are not a child anymore. This stages changes a lot of you from your behavior and how you see yourself. I might be thinking that I'm not part of the society. I think that the problem is not me, but in reality it's just because how I think others might be misunderstand me. I have so much problems facing right now, and you can relate yourself to your family when they talk about problems. In adolescent stages, change me from happy to sad, and that's fine because it's the reality. Not every time you are happy. I have also anxiety and panic attacks. I don't like going outside, and I want just to lay in my bed all day. So I think there is a huge impact for me the how I changed from my childhood to my adolescent stages.
Good day everyone, I am Christine D. Francisco and I will be going to discuss to you my report. The topic that I will discuss is all about historical views of child development. Some influential philosophers' views portray children in terms of original sin, or rather innate goodness. A. The original sin view the goal therefore was that child rearing should provide salvation to remove the sins from the child's life. B. Tabula rasa view 17th century, it was proposed by English philosopher John Locke that children are not innately bad, but instead they are lifelong talents. C. Innate goodness view 18th century, it was presented by a French philosopher in the name of Jean Jack Russell. Our view of children has dramatically changed. Our perception of childhood was a highly eventful and a unique period of time that lays the foundation for the adult years. Thus, most modern approaches in understanding the children and adolescents today depends on how fast that we approach our understanding of them through identifying which skills they master and how they comport new life tasks. Our introduction to several influential and diverse theories of child and adolescence development will substantiate what we already know about it. That is all about my report. Thank you for watching and have a nice day. God bless. Good day everyone, I am Giselle Francisco, the reporter for today's topic. Current concerns about today's children, the topics and news that we read and hear every day, whether in newspapers, magazines, and on the internet are mostly centered about the children's welfare. What many child development researchers are discovering which of those areas has direct and significant consequences for understanding children and improving their lives. It is important for us to provide up-to-date coverage of the roles of the following modern day concerns of today's children. Education, like parenting, is an extremely important dimension in children's life. Sadker and Sadker 2003. Education takes place in many places. Children learn from the environment at home, from their parents, siblings, relatives, neighbors, peers, school, church, aside from books, watching televisions, social media, and the internet. We might look back at our own learning experiences and say that today is much easier due to the advent of technology. Yet to some individuals, the new technology has an adverse effect on the learning styles of children today. To be more specific, the online classes and learning through modules take a toll on children and parents with limited access to technology and literacy. So stressful on the part of teachers, educators, and school administrators in implementing such an approach due to a short notice of preparation and training. With the adoption of the new normal, it may take more time to see the difference it makes, just like how we reacted when the K-12 program was implemented. We realized that being relevant is about embracing the new, no matter how difficult it is. There are contexts such as culture, ethnicity, and gender development. These concepts are central in the discussion of children's and adolescents' development. Cultures encompasses the behavioral patterns, beliefs, and other products of a particular group of people that are passed on from generation to generation. For Filipino example, we show respect to our elders by practicing manoko. Ethnicity is rooted in the cultural heritage, nationality, race, characteristic, religion, and language. Ethnic identity refers to the sense of membership in an ethnic group based on shared language, religion, customs, and values. History, race such as example Cebuanos, Bicolanos, Ilocanos, and Muslims. Here involves the psychological and social-cultural dimension of being male and female. Sex refers to the biological dimensions of being male and female. Our society today has a changing view and attitude about gender sensitivity. Gender and development developed in the early 1980s as an alternative to the woman in development approach. Social policy refers to the national government's course of action designed to promote the welfare of its citizens. Bayanihan to Heal as an Act 3, Republic Act 9262, an act defining violations against women and children, per 5 Republic Act 9995, signed into law in July 2009, expands benefit from the non-contributor pension system for the earner, including providing a monthly social pension of 500 Philippine pesos, about $10, for indigent senior citizens. Number 6, Republic Act 11310, Pantawid Pamilyang Pilipino Program, Bridging Program for the Filipino Family, also known as the Peace Act, signed into law in April 2019. Details can be found in the Review of Social Protection Expenditure and Performance in the Philippines, undertaken by the ILO Super-Regional Office for Southeast Asia and the Pacific, ILO 2007. Number 7, Republic Act 10963, the Tax Redum for Acceleration and Exclusion Act, signed into law in December 2007. 3. The Philippines Constitution of 1987 mandates the education get the highest budgetary allocation, Art 14, Section 5.5, and that the system of pre-public, elementary, and high school education is established and maintained, Art 14, Section 2.1. Number 4, this was implemented via the passage of Republic Act 10351, signed into law in December 2012, which allocates 80% of the incremental increase in revenues from excess taxes on alcohol and tobacco to the National Health Insurance Program, which in turn was used to subsidize premiums of indigents. Social policy refers to the national government course of action designed to promote the welfare of its citizens. The shape and the scope of our policy related to the children's welfare are tied to the political system. These are social policies such as: Number 1, Republic Act 10931, Universal Access to Quality Tertiary Education Act, signed into law in August 2017. Number 2, Republic Act 11223, Universal Healthcare Act, signed into law in February 2019. 7. A series of popular demonstrations in the capital city of Manila in February 1986, which led to the end of Marcos' strongman rule in the Philippines. Out of the concern that our policymakers are doing so little to protect the well-being of our children, we still hope the undertakings of the government will eventually be wise and effective decisions in the making the social policies effective in the near future. That is all about my report. Thank you for watching and God bless.
Hi classmate, hi Coach Jay, this is Quiza Minchito Review, and my report is about the story of Jeffrey Dahmer and Alice Walker. Jeffrey Dahmer had a troubled childhood. His parents constantly bickered before they divorced, and his mother has emotional problems and doted on his younger brother, and he felt that his father neglected him. When he was 8 years old, Jeffrey was sexually abused by an older boy. But most individuals who suffered through such childhood pains never go on to commit Jeffrey grisly crimes. And Alice Walker, on the other hand, was the 8th child of sharecroppers who earns only $300 a year. And when she was 8 years old, her brother accidentally shot her in the eye with a baby gun. And by that time, she reached the hospital and she was blind in that eye. But despite of that, Alice went on to become an essayist, poet, and an award-winning novelist. And also, she won a Pulitzer Prize for her book, The Color Purple. The real name of Jeffrey Dahmer is Jeffrey Lionel Dahmer, and he born on May 21, 1960, and he died on November 28, 1994. And the cause of death of Jeffrey Dahmer is homicide by blood poisoning or severe skull and brain trauma. And Jeffrey Dahmer is parts of the skeleton. So, Jeffrey Dahmer is a killer and a murderer and also a sex offender. And in the other hand is Alice Walker. So, the real name of Alice Walker is Alice Marshina Tallulah Kate Walker. She is an American novelist, a short story writer, a poet, and a social activist. And in 1982, she became the first African-American woman to win the Pulitzer Prize for Fiction, which she was awarded for her novel The Color Purple. These two stories makes us think what could have left on one child, as in the case of Jeffrey Dahmer, to grow up and commit those brutal acts of violence, or as in the case of Alice Walker, how was she able to pick up pieces from poverty to reach her very happiness? So this story is about the two people, which is Jeffrey Dahmer and Alice Walker, which is Jeffrey Dahmer is a man who committed the crime, but in the other hand is a successful woman, which is Alice Walker, which is she is a famous novelist and also a famous poet. So that's all about my report, coach and classmate. So thank you and God bless.
So, good evening everyone, especially to our Coach J. Martinez. I am Nur Khadija J. Ahmad from BTBTN FSM 1K. So, my role on this video presentation is to explain the current concern about today's children. So, what can you say about today's children? Current concern about today's children. So these are we watch, see, hear, and read in newspaper, TV, and internet, and so on. And many of them are children. Many child development researchers are discovering in each of this area has direct and significant consequence for understanding children and improving their lives. It is important for us to coverage of the rules of the following modern day concerns of today's children. Health and well-being. So in the past few days, months, and years, many people are suffering, and especially the child, because of COVID-19 world pandemic. They cannot afford to buy their own food and anything else. So, until now, they are still under in poverty, starvation, loss of livelihood, poor quality health care, inadequate nutrition, alcohol and drug abuse, violence against women and children, and last is mental health. So, education. Education is very important to the children like us, and they can learn it everywhere, like from our parents, friends, relatives, siblings, and neighbors. And aside from books, they can also learn from watching television, social media, and internet. It's very easy to learn now, but technology has an adverse effect on the learning styles of children today. As you can see, that today's generation is different from K-12 when it was first implemented. Social cultural contexts such as culture, ethnicity, and gender and developments. So these concepts are central in the discussion of children and adolescents development. By context we mean settings in which development occurs and wherein it is influenced by historical, economic, and socio-cultural factors for a researcher. It is like finding out if the children today are tolerant about cultural differences among other children. Culture. So it compasses the behavioral patterns, beliefs, and other products of a particular group of people that are passed on from generation to generation. So, for example, for Filipinos, we show respect to our elders, to practicing mano po. Ethnicity. Ethnicity is rooted in the cultural heritage, nationality, race, characteristic, religion, and language. Ethnic identity. So, ethnic identity, it refers to the nonsense of membership in an ethnic group based on shared language, religion, costumes, and values, history, race, such as, for example, Cebuanos, Bicolanos, Ilocanos, and Muslims. Sex refers. So, sex refers is the biological dimensions of being male and female. Our society today has a changing view and attitude about gender. So, gender and development. Gender and development, it refers to the development perspective and process that is participatory and empowering, equitable, sustainable, free from violence, respectful of human rights, supportive of self-determination, and actualizations of human potentials. Social policy. So, social policy, it refers to the national government course of action designed to promote the welfare of its citizens. The shape and scope of our policy related to children's welfare are tied to our political system. A specific example of social policies are: number 1, K to 12. So, K to 12 is an education system under the Department of Education that aims to enhance learners' basic skills, reduce learning and employment. K stands for kindergarten and 12 refers to the succeeding 12 years of basic education, 6 years of elementary education, 4 years of junior high school, and 2 years of senior high school. The Philippines is the last country in the Asia and one of only 3 countries in the world with a 10-year pre-university program. Number 2, the Bayanihan. So, the Bayanihan to Heal as one of Act, also known as the Bayanihan Act and officially designated as Republic Act number 11469, is a law in the Philippines that was enacted in March 2020, granting the President additional authority to combat the COVID-19 pandemic in the Philippines. Number 3, Republic Act 2962, an act defining violence against women and their children. So, Charmaine G. Ramos. Charmaine G. Ramos is a lecturer at Leiden University College, Leiden University, the Netherlands. Her current research focuses on analyzing policies governing production and redistribution in Southeast Asia and Latin America as a means for exploring how political economic dynamics, constraints, and structure institutions for social transformation and productive expansions in the Global South. On the other hand, Duterte's rise to power is seen by Bello, 2017, and Diego 2017, as a holding to account for the failure of liberal democratic institutions that were established during this period to deliver broader economic empowerment and wealth redistribution. So these are the social policies such as number 1, Republic Act 10931, Universal Access to Quality Tertiary Education Act, signed into law in August 2017. Number 2, Republic Act 11223, Universal Health Care Act, signed into law in February 2019. 7. A series of popular demonstrations in the capital city of Manila in February 1986, which led to the end of Marcos' strongman rule in the Philippines. Number 3. The Philippines Constitution of 1987 mandates that education gets the highest budgetary allocations, Art XIV, Section 5.5, and that a system of free public elementary and high school education is established and maintained, Art XIV, Section 2.1. Number 4. This was implemented via the passage of Republic allocates 80% of the incremental increase in revenues from excise taxes on alcohol and tobacco to the National Health Insurance Program, which in turn was used to subsidize premiums of indigents. Number 5. Republic Act 11310, Pantawid Pamilyang Pilipino Program, Bridging Program for the Filipino Family, also known as the 4Ps Act, signed into law in April 2019. 12. Details can be found in the Review of Social Protection Expenditure and Performance in the Philippines, undertaken by the ILO Sub-Regional Office for Southeast Asia and the Pacific, ILO 02007. Number 6. Republic Act 10963, the Tax Reform for Acceleration and Inclusion Act, signed into law in December 2017. So, out of the concern that our policy makers are doing so little to protect the well-being of our children, we still hope the undertakings of the government. So, that's all for today's video. Thank you for watching. Again, I am Narikadija Ahmad from BTBTED FSM 1K.